morning. It is Sunday, October the 11th. I'm back in my apartment, as we can see. Spent all day, well, most of the day yesterday, driving back through the beautiful mountains. The rain was falling, and there's just this mist that's always there, but even more pronounced, I think, with the rainfall around the Smoky Mountains. It's gorgeous. So it's a beautiful drive. We woke up around 4. A lot different this time, though. I got a full night's rest. My dear sister, however, did not get as much rest. She was on edge, and she warned me she would be. I was a little bit surprised, though, just about how much anxiety she had. I'm beginning to realize, speaking of being with my sister's anxiety, I'm beginning to realize just how much I take on other people's experience, other people's pain, other people's struggles, other people's everything, how enmeshed I am with others. And it's interesting, I was watching a documentary last night. I forget what it was called. I think it was like Life on This Planet. It was this British guy who had spent his entire life going into the wild places of the world and filming and sharing all these beautiful creatures that inhabit this planet. And he's 93 years old, which is remarkable. It's the same age as my grandma, and so articulate, walking around. And I'm sure part of it has to do with this life he's spent just being active and living with this gratitude and respect for the earth and the people around him. I assume these things. He may be an asshole for all I know. But I liked his perspective, and I liked hearing what he had to say. And one of the things that he did say was, this era that we live in is called the Holocene. We've found this very special equilibrium that has allowed all this diversity to flourish. It's what I guess scientists call one of the most stable periods in our history when it comes to climate and temperature variation and all that. So, but one thing he said that it was, in order for this delicate balance to be maintained, there's this understanding among all species that all species around need to be able to thrive. In order for any one species to thrive, that none of us live in isolation, and that we're intricately connected to everything around us. And we've really lost sight of that, I think, as human beings. We've worked our way around it, by mastering farming, or thinking that we mastered farming, at least producing food or something that resembles food at a large scale. We've been able to negotiate our way around the seasons and meet our own needs, and quite honestly without much respect for the species that got us here. A tree is worth more dead than it is alive at this point. A whale is worth more dead than alive. And one of the things he said was that, this isn't about saving our planet. There have been 5 mass extinctions, I think, in our history. And she always finds her way back to equilibrium. It's just a matter if humans can save ourselves. Because the climate's going to start changing. It already has. It's a full degree Celsius hotter than it was, and our ice caps are melting, and our coral reefs are turning into skeletons, and we have less than half of the rainforest that we had. I think the percentage he came up with was we have about 36% or so of wildlife since human has started making these changes. So how does that relate to our involvement with other people? So my understanding is that, we're all intricately connected. And so naturally, as a human, I feel connected to my family, to the people around me when they're suffering, to when they're feeling anything. I feel, it's almost like I leave my body and I'm in their body. And if what they're experiencing is painful, then it's hard for me to be with that pain. So take my sister, for instance. She is having what seems like to me like almost a full-blown anxiety attack. Just by virtue of the map telling us to go a different way, and her not being able to find Subway within 5 minutes and deciding to get Taco Bell instead, and then beating herself up about that choice. And the anxiety level was like that of someone whose child had been kidnapped. It was really bad. Not quite that high. Maybe I'd say someone who was lost in the woods and just realized it, and they're not going to be able to get home before anything they don't have anything to eat. They don't know where they're going to sleep. It was that kind of level of panic. And I found myself responding in all sorts of ways, one of them being laughter, because it was just, I don't know how to be with that. That just seems intense. That seems too much. So I met it with judgment. And I've met it with trying to fix it, trying to help calm her down, asking her questions, where is your mind going? What do you think is going to happen? And, the same goes with my family's health. As I have mentioned before, my family is all very unhealthy and unhappy that they're unhealthy, and they all beat themselves up if they continue to do the same thing, which is so hard for me to be around. Poor me, I know. What I'm trying to, I guess, articulate or understand for myself is, on the one hand, yes, I understand at a cellular level how interconnected we all are. And so I understand why it hurts me and why it's challenging for me to be with other people's difficult emotions and with their suffering, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, any kind. But on the other hand, not but negates what you said before you said what you said. Language is powerful, so I'm practicing that. And the way that I honor someone else's journey and the way that I best and allow them to thrive in their full potential is to let their journey be their journey. Just give space for it. Butt out. Someone wants advice, they'll ask for it. And also just to notice, like I'm doing now, notice what my reaction is when I'm with these things. Notice. Be curious about it. They're still going to happen. I'm still probably going to offer advice every once in a while, but I have a choice now to pause. I have a choice now because my nervous system is calm. If I'm feeling really freaked out by whatever I'm seeing, I might revert to those things. So all I can really do is soothe myself live the best example I can, and show love the best way I know how. It's not a perfect journey. It's never going to look perfect, but I know how I want to show up for my loved ones. And that's as a space of non-judgment and allowing them to thrive in the best way I know how. And for me, right now, what it looks like is giving them space to be them, honoring their journey, focusing on my own, and also understanding that I'm not alone in it. I'm connected with all of them, with all of it. That's all for today, October 11th. Thank you.